about that. So let's let Wolverine Casual play us into our recruiting segment here with the 20 burger. So thank you, Wolverine Casual, for becoming a member on the last post game and for donating. You rock. Go blue. Hearing U of M is offering Bryce Underwood $5 million plus. Are we sure this is the right move? Quarterback is not a position where scouting always hits. He'll probably bring a lot of recruits too, but could also spread the money around. U of M going from 0 to 60 on NIL.
This is a loaded super chat, but for $20, we got you. Okay, so is Bryce Underwood worth it? Yes. Here's why. Now, I will touch on all your points as to why you are potentially questioning if it's worth it or not. The reason why it is worth it is because Bryce Underwood is the real deal.
Yep.
You're going to see here with the huddle highlights. Bryce Underwood is the real deal. He would have been the number one player coming out of college or out of high school last year. This kid is the type of kid who will start his freshman year. Okay. Now, granted, is everybody a home run? No. So there is obviously some concern there, right? But at the end of the day, you have to invest in your future. This is without question a very good commodity to invest in. Okay. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why this kid is ranked number one in the nation and why he would have been number one last year. Just like it's not because the scouts are not seeing a quality player here. Secondly, when it comes to spreading the money out, you don't want the money to get too thin. U of M's going 0 to 60 on NIL. Okay. So after I do the recruiting segment, I kind of want to hit on the donor situation and a couple other things with recruiting, but I'll just lay out a little bit right here. Money is not an issue. Money is not an issue for Michigan right now. In terms of Bryce Underwood, he is his own budget. There is literally a separate group of donors who are willing, and we're going to talk about it. I guess I'll talk about it a little more. I'll just touch on it lightly here, to do what they need to do. And it has absolutely nothing to do with the rest of the recruiting NIL budget. So it is a completely separate situation. I will tell you, and I wanted to kind of save this, but I will just simply say, do not worry about NIL in Michigan. Michigan's a big boy now. Michigan is with the top dogs. Michigan's down to play. Their donors have been given the green light to go, and they are going. They are going. Like, I can't even stress how good it is right now. You guys will find out with results. Obviously, it's all words, but Michigan's a ball player now, man, and they're up there with the big boys too. They're not on previously we were at a top 15 level. Not no more. We are definitely, it's possible we're top 5 level right now. It's possible we're definitely top 10. I can guarantee you that. The reason why I'm hesitant to say top 5 is because that requires results to confirm. But from what I am aware of, money's not an issue at all. Like, at all.
So
for any of these guys, by the way. And that is why, and John, I know one last thing, and that is why you just saw Babalola land and you are seeing the smoke with Shamari Earls, plus some others, which we will get into.
Well, because Babalola was considering not just academics, but clearly considering NIL offers with Auburn in the mix.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. So that academic recruitment transitioned in July into an NIL recruitment. As much as some people will say, well, academics are... NIL was a big factor once Auburn got involved. And there's a reason why Stanford and Michigan both took a back seat for a minute. And the reason why Michigan took a backseat is simply because they weren't playing up to speed, but now they are. They're very much up to speed. They got everything. They got people where it needs to be. They're very organized. Like, I'm sure some people saw the On3 article. I posted it on my Twitter, but there was a portion from the article from On3 that said Michigan's collective is the healthiest it's been since 2021, or it's the most financially comfortable, whatever it is, paraphrasing. And I said that's an understatement, because to be honest with you, that article did not tell you the reality. The reality is we have bags, and Michigan's not fucking around. They're not. They are so serious right now, and it's not going to stop in just high school recruiting. It's going into the portal too. Just so you guys know, they already have a strategy plan for the portal. Michigan's very serious about this. They've Sean McGee, Jared Wagner, Sharon Moore, and all the donors who are part of that. I mean, shout out, because they're serious as hell right now. There's
So
a reason why Jared
this is a
Wagner.
massive change, TJ, from when I started hosting this show. And I was saying, what the hell is happening? We have these other schools, Texas A&M, Miami, just throwing bags around, and now Michigan is coming to play. And so with Bryce, and then I'll let you go here. But with Bryce, it's kind of like one of those things where, like, let me ask everybody in chat: if you had the chance to get another JJ McCarthy, wouldn't you do it?
He's better.
Like, he might be better in terms of raw talent than the maybe arguably the greatest Michigan quarterback that we've ever had.
Yeah, he's better. In terms of skill and talent, he is better than JJ McCarthy. They are projecting Bryce Underwood to be a first overall pick in the NFL draft. That is what they are projecting Bryce Underwood to be. Just so everyone's very clear on how these rankings work. They are projecting him to be the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft when he is ready to announce. That is the type of player we're talking about here. Jared Wagner was at Bryce Underwood's game this Friday. Okay, our head of our NIL, the general manager, not the head of our NIL, but the general manager for the football team was with Bryce Underwood. John, I'll just get into Bryce Underwood right here. And I know we got another super chat, so let me just knock it out. So this is what I wanted to say about Bryce. The cat's out the bag. The cat's out the bag. We all see all the articles right now from all the different services. Every insider is now in on it. And now you got people who doubted the Bryce Underwood. I'm not going to name any names, but you have people who doubted the Bryce Underwood situation. Not my teammate. I'm talking about other people. You got people who doubted the Bryce Underwood.
I doubted a little. I'll say it. In the beginning, I doubted a little.
It's all love, dude. It's all love. But you have people who doubted this who are now saying, quote, it's a real possibility. Okay. So if you guys have been with us, right, you guys have been watching our show, our recruiting segment, you guys would know before all this buzz picked up, before the Sam Webb fireworks article, we told you this was in motion. We told you they were applying pressure to the Bryce Underwood situation. The donors were getting their shit together, and they were making a very aggressive attempt to try and get Bryce Underwood in the class. We shared that with you before the buzz, even before the cat ever got out of the bag. So I do take pride in that one. That's a good dub for our show. So here's the reality of the situation on what I can share. We are currently in a bidding war. Okay. But this is not an issue. Like, this is, so what? It doesn't even matter. Okay. There's a reason why Michigan just stole Babaloa from Auburn. Okay. There's a reason why Michigan is attempting very aggressively right now. We'll hit on Shamari Earls a little bit more. Stealing Shamari Earls from Georgia. Dude, these are big time players. Michigan is now attempting to steal Bryce Underwood from LSU. These are power players, guys. These guys they've been doing this for like 30, 40 years. Okay. Like, they know how to do this. They know the game. We are currently going to war with these dudes. Michigan is now, I'm not upset at anyone who wants to take a more cautious approach here in terms of, I want to see the results before I fully believe. That's fine. I respect it. But we are currently in a realm with the Oregons, the Bamas, the Georgias, the Tennessees, the Miamis, and the Ohio States in terms of financial capability with NIL. That is where we are. Now, do I anticipate to be a Miami where we are just highest bidder, every single guy? No, I don't, because there is a culture of reality. But what I do anticipate is we're going after the top dudes. We're going after our top guys, and you're seeing that now. The hurdle right now is not NIL for Underwood. The hurdle currently is Michigan has to sell to Bryce Underwood that this is truly home. That's the hurdle. So the family, they do like Michigan. They do like Michigan, and the hometown hero angle does matter. It does matter. And Bryce is very warm to the idea of coming to Michigan, which is why you have seen things, which is why when these reports started trickling out the last week and a half to where it is now, not being shut out, because it's really occurring. Like, things are it's really progressing. Now, people have asked me, what is the percentage that I put it at that he would flip to Michigan? I am currently at 65%. I've been at 65 since last Tuesday. This weekend, honestly, probably should have upped me a little more, but I'm just going to stay at 65 for right now because there is a potential official visit for Bryce Underwood with LSU against the Alabama game. I believe it's November 9th. There is a potential visit there. Now, even if he goes on this visit, it's not something that is a deal breaker. Like, just because he goes doesn't mean it's not like Michigan's not progressing, not trending. It's not that. That's not the situation. He is just going to go and pay respects out of his commitment. Potentially, this isn't even confirmed yet fully that he's going to go, but there is a potential that he's going to visit on that visit, and we'll see what comes of it. You know, obviously LSU can do a lot, but just remember this: he's literally 5 minutes from Ann Arbor, guys. And I know there was a lot of, and the last thing I'll hit on it, I think, unless we got some super chats on it, which I will hit. There was some smoke this weekend about visitors, about him visiting. What I can confirm, that from what I know, is he was on campus Saturday. Now, there's some speculation as whether he was or was not at the game. Now, I have had an individual tell me he was, but then when I reached out to another person, I got no answer. So I don't want to like confirm, because I don't know. I don't fully know. I do kind of trust the person who told me, but I trust the other guy more, and that's who I get most of my good information from. So I'm gonna chill on it a little bit. But here's what I can say though: he was not with the recruits. He had a special arrangement. Now you guys can put two and two together where he might be sitting if he has a special arrangement. But yeah, that's the word. That's potentially where he was, and his family was there for the game though. So one would think if his family was there, he was also there. So, but I do know he was on campus earlier that day. I can confirm that one.
Yeah,
So
there was some question on exactly where he was, where he wasn't.
Well,
but he was around apparently.
Because a lot of people are like, "Oh, there's no photos." Well, there's a reason.
Yeah.
Also, there's a reason.
Low key.
Let me also stress this: there's a reason why there's a secretive play here. Okay, there's a reason why it's not so public. It's public as hell now, though. So I don't know how it's going to go, but there's a reason why. Like one thing people got to realize is when you're committed to another school, you don't want to be disrespectful. You know, that's kind of what it comes down to. So that, you know, you do it respect, you know, you do it respectfully. That's the attempt from my understanding, is they're just trying to be respectful about everything. So we'll see where it goes, man.
So Wolverine casual, we did, I believe TJ's kind of answered this already, but now that NIL is even, what are our chances on BU? I think you said 65% is where you're at.
Yeah, we are at 65, but our NIL is not even. We're kicking LSU's ass right now. LSU's not close to our offer right now. They're not close. They're not close. Now, apparently they're willing to match, but here's some reality. Michigan doesn't care. They're gonna offer more. Whatever LSU, this is for sure, guaranteed, confirmed. Whatever LSU offers, Michigan's going higher. They don't care. Like, they really don't care. Like, I'm serious about how serious this is in terms of NIL capabilities right now.
Another one on Bryce, and I am moving around on the super chats. We will get to all of them, but we'll try to tackle them through the topics as well. Wolverine casual. If we miss Bryce Underwood, do we alienate Carter Smith?
So no, apparently Carter Smith still wants to be a part of the class. He's not fazed by this. He wants to be a part of the class. He wants to come to Michigan. So no issues there. And word is Brady Hart's just as committed as well. If Brady Hart's actually visiting this weekend, guys, he's gonna be visiting for the Oregon game. So yeah, no, apparently both quarterbacks are completely good. They're completely, as it stands. As it stands, we know things change, but as it stands, everything seems to be okay.
All right. So with Bryce Underwood potentially coming, it seems that Derek Meadows may follow if that were to happen, and that Andrew Marsh and others have been kind of talking to some of these people. So, I guess what is the what is kind of what does that flow like? Derek is considering it because Bryce is considering it, or are they kind of a package?
Yeah, so this is another one, John, where we can take some credit here. We can take a little nice pat on the back because we told you guys last Tuesday, because we did the members hangout Monday, and I told them I was not aware of who this. I know there's a receiver. I know there's a receiver they're talking to, but I don't know who it is. Tuesday, I told you guys I know who it is now. I got a response, and I know who it is. And I told you guys it's Derek Meadows. And lo and behold, John, Saturday, Sam Webb has Andrew Marsh on his pregame show, and he goes, "So, Andrew, and Andrew's a friend of the show. We were able to do an interview with him. Andrew's been good, and he goes, Andrew, who are you recruiting?" And he goes, "Currently, I'm recruiting Bryce Underwood, Shamari Earls, because he wants to go against the best in practice, and Derek Meadows." And I was like, boom, baby. I knew it. We freaking knew it. My guy was right again, baby. And yep, Derek Meadows is the receiver that is apparently attached to Bryce Underwood, and he would only come to, from my understanding, he it's a package deal. It's one of those where if Underwood comes to Michigan, he wants to come to Michigan. If Underwood does not come to Michigan, the interest is not as high, which I can respect. A wide receiver of his capabilities. Plus you have Andrew Marsh right now doing his best to bring both. He's doing his best to get both of them here. Yeah, I mean they're really putting in some work right now.
Man, can you imagine? So you get Bryce Underwood, Derek Meadows. Remember that guy named Channing Goodwin is on campus and could also be in that conversation. Obviously, Andrew Marsh. This could become a legitimate offense overnight if they get. I think that's the reason that Bryce Underwood they're pulling out. They're trying to pull out all the stops to get him.
Yeah, I mean, and here's what's really crazy. We could have 3 freshmen starting. Bryce Underwood starting. They're going to start Derek Meadows, and I think Andrew Marsh has been told they're looking to play him early too. So we would be a very young team, but it'll be a promising, fun team. Now, will there be some bumps if this occurs? If this happens, will there be some bumps and from some frustration, of course? But the talent's going to be through the roof, man.
I can't wait.
But to be honest, too, look at what we have right now. Like it'd be better than what we're putting out right now.
For sure.
How crazy is that, dude? Think about that. If all 3 of these dudes were here, even now it'd be better than what we got.
Absolutely
right now.
Would. They just came straight from the bus, just right over to Ann Arbor. So got some flip targets. Obviously, we've been covering the Shamari Earls situation and following it very strongly. And it does sound like that is a lock. So walk us through Shamari and also this linebacker Bradley Gompers.
Gompers, yep. Okay, so Shamari Earls, we all know there's a lot of buzz last week. He loves Michigan. Shamari Earls loves Michigan, but there is a slight before I say slight, let me just clarify. It looks good. Everything's still okay. But the reason why it's not it hasn't occurred is because the parents still want to be a little more cautious before they make the final decision. The dad is still on the fence, from my understanding. Okay, so he likes Georgia. Shamari loves Michigan. We have one of those situations occurring right now. But what Shamari does plan to do is he wants to come back to Michigan on an official visit. His visit he just visited this weekend was an unofficial visit, so he wants to come back. I believe he wants to come back in obviously a couple weeks here. So he'll be back in a couple weeks for an official visit, and we'll see if they can close. And I think the mom was not. I'm not 100% positive. I think the mom was not on this trip. The mom will be on the next trip. If I'm wrong there, then it might be. But I think that is the situation with that one. But we'll see. Everything does look good still, and he does. The great news is this: he likes Michigan, and that's what's really important here. So, and again, this is another one where NIL has brought us back. Now on to Bradley Gompers. This is a recruitment, guys, we really need to put more attention to right now. This is a top 100 linebacker. Everyone's focus is on Owasu Boateng. It really needs to be on Bradley Gompers. Also, let me say this. Also, Bradley Gompers. This kid is a top 100 linebacker who played at the same exact high school as Cole Sullivan. Okay, same exact high school. Currently committed to Duke. this is a kid that I feel very strongly, and he was just visited this weekend, guys. So that's the thing too, is like we just had this big visitor weekend. He was barely even talked about, but we really need to start putting more attention here for Bradley Gompers. A credible athlete. Michigan made an extremely strong move this weekend, and there is some optimism that they are trending in the right direction here with Bradley Gompers. I mean, you just saw him just destroy that dude and then kill the quarterback. You just saw it. He is a monster. Now imagine him and Cole Sullivan. There he goes again. He's a freaking missile. Imagine him and
Yeah,
Cole Sullivan together, and that linebacker core, right?
that's a strong linebacker core.
Yeah, that's nasty. So this is another kid that we really need to really put a lot more attention to. Michigan is making a good move here with him, so we'll be on top of this. We'll follow it more. I'm excited about Bradley Gompers, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's currently
hard
committed
commit to Duke, but with so always great to have a 6'5".
Yep.
Obviously a kind of a massive massive impact he would be on the linebacker core. So
Yeah.
Duke has him now, but he's heavily looking at it.
Yeah. This is another one where academics, we're good. NIL, they don't got it. We do. So they don't got what we got. So this isn't basketball, right? Like we're not battling Duke for basketball right now. We're battling Duke for a football player. So the good news is it's trending well. We'll see where it goes.
Absolutely. And obviously, we've got some additional updates. We've been following Savion Hyder, the 2026 running back, who would be probably the number one running back, target in the class for sure, and maybe one of I think the top in that entire class in general. So,
Yes.
so where are things standing with him and some of these others that we see here?
Yeah, so Savion Hyder is the number one class in 2026. This is Brady Hart's class. Brady Hart is recruiting him very hard. He also visited this weekend, and by all accounts, Michigan knocked it out of the park, and things are in an extremely good position. Again, so Michigan, I want to stress this, is not just crushing 2025 right now. They are attacking 2026, and I've anyone who has watched our show, I've stressed this. 2026, they were looking to make it even bigger. I just cannot stress that enough. They are completely allocated and ready to go for 2026 in terms of financials. Obviously, there's going to be more rate. And let me just also backpedal. There will obviously be more raising and donor donations and things of that nature. But this is when revenue sharing kicks in. This is when there will be much more cash flow than is already available. Things like that. A lot of players will be going to the draft, which will obviously open up even more cash capacity. So that's where we are with that, because there are donors, respectfully, who are pledged to give an X amount every year. There are donors who there are not all of them. Some of them are one-time donations, but there are donors who are annual givers to the university and the NIL and all that. So great to see. But Savion Hyder is a player we need to be paying close attention to. Now, this recruitment is not close to being finished. Obviously, it's 2026, but I wanted to give a temperature check on where it is right now. And where it is Michigan's currently looking like top dog for this recruitment, which is huge because you got Brady Hart. And if we land Bryce Underwood, Derek Meadows, Andrew, you guys already know the deal. Like, we're talking serious firepower here. Serious firepower. Like best in the nation level firepower. Like nobody is better type firepower. You get the number one running back, number one quarterback, these top wide receivers like this. And if Andrew Olish, which we'll talk about later, sticks in the class, you get an elite, you land a Babaloa who's considered potentially the best offensive tackle. Like, we're talking serious, man. It's serious right now, which is good to see. And then we got Benny Patterson, defensive lineman. He's ranked 4-star on some sites, 3 stars on others. Just to put some cherries on tops with this wonderful recruiting segment. He's looking blue. That's looking blue. So be on the lookout for that.
Not bad.
There is optimism that this will be in the not too distant future. Now, I will say the other school who is involved in this recruitment right now, because currently he's committed to Cincinnati. The other school currently involved is USC, but the feel is that he really likes Michigan and it's trending extremely well. And I feel confident in saying I think he's going to be a Wolverine. So our next recruit we're going to talk about here is Quante Gillians. This is looking also like a done deal, boys. This is another Michigan. This is a 3-star defensive lineman. This is the type of player who is very raw but athletic. So, if you watch his highlight tape, I will be honest, it's not as exciting as some other highlight tapes, but what the coaching staff is looking at here is frame, body type, athletic capability, and a ball of clay. He's a ball of clay, and that's really what it is there. And also, please understand this: they are going to be changing the roster sizes from 85 to 105, so they're going to be filling the class with more of these project type players, and hoping that in 2 to 3 years, or even 4 of their senior year, they turn into diamonds. So,
Yeah.
and Michigan loves developing.
And Quante's been on our radar. I believe this is the second week, and you watch Michigan Wolverines live. You see what's happening, and circle these players if you keep hearing them every week, because it means Michigan is really targeting them strongly.
The only reason I bring any players to this segment is because they are names you need to know.
Yep.
There are names I don't even talk about, because it's no point wasting anyone's time.